I wanted to do a quick video about this because I think I've touched on this topic a few times before, but I've never really dove into it or tried to break it down um, to a couple different levels. And I don't know if I really will break it down to a couple different levels just because at some point it begins to be my opinion as opposed to um, facts, things that you can visually see and also prove. Now, one of the weirdest things that I continuously see, and especially at my place of employment, um, is that I see just from a visual perspective. If you can follow me for a second and bear with me, why is it no? I can't really ask the question. Let me just say it. I see some of the most non shaped, non figured uh, white females not only being married, then having children. So it's funny to me when you see not so attractive women being wifed up, not only being wifed up, then being impregnated. But at this same place, I see the most shapely sisters that seem to get children, but that ring finger naked than a summer bitch. Why? Why is that? Now I can ask the question because this is something that I visually see. I can tell you this is the actual facts. These are the things that I've seen. But now it gets into my opinion. The why. Well, see, here's the thing. Men are very visual people. Smart women understand that men are very visual. Or I shouldn't say smart women, but conniving, sneaky, manipulative women understand that men are very visual. So, some of them will dress a certain way provocatively to maybe get that promotion or to get in good graces with higher up management or immediate supervisors, etc., etc. But when it comes to picking a mate, you have to get to the soul of a man. And if you ever get to the soul of a man, what makes a man willing to kick down and punch down brick walls for a woman that he uh, decides to marry, be with, commit to, later on probably procreate with. It's something that they offer that is deeper than a big butt, than a nice waist, than big breasts. See, what women I think have failed to realize is that one, your market value is is very young and very quick. Your value falls off just like driving a brand new vehicle off of a lot. Men's value are almost like homes. Yes, there are some times where it's a depreciation, but that man could flip his life, flip a career, flip a job, flip whatever, and his value goes up as he gets older. And then as he gets to a certain age and get up in a certain age range, then it kind of either flatlines or it begins to slowly decline. I asked and posed this question because I keep seeing it. I've been where I've been at for several years now, and every year I see the most unattractive women being married, having a bigger rock on their hand, and unfortunately that I could afford for my wife. But my wife isn't materialistic like that, so she just a regular ring for her was, $600 ring was good enough for her. But these are some two by fours, some weeble wobbles. Um, you know, not the Coke bottle, big breasts, slim waist, big booty. It's not those that are getting wifed up. They are the ones though getting knocked up. And the question is, we now have to then ask the question, what is the shapely woman not bringing to the table that is willing to make a man come, pardon the pun, but not stay? How is it that flat bottom Becky can get wifed up or husband up, whatever you want to call it? Why is it that she can get a man, keep a man, and keep a man so well that he's willing to procreate with flat bottom Becky, but yet big booty Laquisha just has a big booty, lost her shape because she had a couple kids, maybe a couple different dudes, or maybe the same dude. Now dude ain't around. Some people would like to say, well, it's a black thing. Or they want to say, well, black people been through slavery. Black people been yada yada yada. I won't bore you with all the detailed excuses. I'm sure most of you already heard them. Here's what I say. A woman's personality plays a huge role in whether or not a man wants to stay with her. See, if a woman is constantly combative or aggressive, or a woman who wants to over assert herself in situations where it's not required for her to be assertive, a woman who doesn't have any type of awareness of when things are appropriate and when things are not appropriate, most men understand they are only as good as who they have on their arm. And yes, you can have the greatest shape in the world, but if your attitude and demeanor is in the toilet, chances are you're not going to be able to keep a man, and you're not going to be appealing enough for a man to commit to you. I contribute this also to the dysfunction in the black community, African American community, whatever you want to call it, because of the lack of quality fathers being picked. See, black women has had a monopoly over every neighborhood in America that is classified as inner city. Through the help of the Democrats and the liberals and every one of those people on the left hand side, they have gained a certain low level amount of power, meaning anyone who comes out and is critical of single motherhood are somehow then demonized as being sexist. They are labeled with all these other deadly labels. That means that they probably, if they own a business, they'll probably lose a business. If they have a job, they'll probably lose a job, because the liberals and the Democrats and the leftists have made it to where Any ounce or any inch of truth being spoken is now therefore hate speech, or you're being a sexist pig. So therefore, any man speaking out saying that this is not normal then gets demonized. So it never changes. You don't have this dichotomy in the white neighborhoods or the white community. In Let me put it this way, it's not prevalent in the white community like it is in the black community. Not that it does not happen, because I'm not white and I'm not there, so I can't tell you. But I can tell you from the things that I see that that kind of thinking is not prevalent in white communities. It may be in some, but it's definitely not in all. The one reason why I personally feel that this is because of attitude, because of demeanor. Because most white women don't walk around with an attitude because they have a flat ass or not a shapely bum. They don't walk around acting like the world owes them something because they don't have a big butt or as big as they would like. See, black women walk around having all this, but still feeling like they have some shortcomings. And so therefore, because they walk around and they feel like they have some shortcomings, instead of saying, well, I'm going to make it up in this area and prove my worth, that I'm not just a big booty and a pin cushion and a cum dumpster. I'm going to purport myself in this demeanor as opposed to that demeanor. White women have done that. Asian women have done that. They have found themselves to be probably more desired among majority of men, even though women have the final say or the more authoritative say over who or not gets to get in their womb, so to speak. And it also goes back to what I think personally, and others have iterated it too, that most of the time black women see black men as the end all, if all else fails kind of crutch. Meaning, I'll try to get the Puerto Rican man, I'll try to get anyone else but a black man, but at the end of the day, if all that fails, I can still shame a black man into being with me by saying, well, your mama black, your sister black, I know your sister, so I know she's black. Bringing nothing else to the table. Often, when I would be in these discussion groups, and I would be critical of black women, they would often say, well, your mama black, so you must hate your mama. And I'm like, no, I don't hate my mother. I actually love my mother. My mother's not out here running around doing half the shit that you do, or people that you know do, or the person that I'm talking about in the article that you posted did. But because so many are dysfunctional and mentally not functioning, that in their mind it makes perfect sense that a man would want to date someone who physically reminds them of their mother. Think about how incestuous and disgusting that is. And then think about how many young girls get molested. How many young boys, black boys and black girls, get molested. Because there's this concept that somehow, especially for a boy, you should date a woman because she looks like your mother. Okay. Well, That's nasty and that's pretty sick. But unfortunately, this is the prevailing thought in the so called African American community. But Flat Bottom Becky is still getting taken off the shelf, even though she doesn't bring much to the table physically. She might be in shape, might be in the gym all the time, trying to work out and get maybe do those things where you get butts. I don't know what they call them, but you do the exercises and stuff. I rarely ever see, when I go to the gym. I rarely ever see any black females in the gym. Typically, when they go in the gym, they're on their phone and they're doing what do you call it, the elliptical. They're on the treadmill. They're not doing much to tone up though. They just want to make sure their butt can be seen. It's very sad that, to me at least, that a woman, any woman, would think that her butt is her greatest asset. No, it just makes you fuckable. It makes more men desire to fuck you. It doesn't make men desire to marry you. Maybe just maybe, there needs to be a shift in thought of saying, maybe I need to make my attitude and my demeanor be like the butt I'm trying to show off. Meaning, let that be the glory of me, that people can say, wow, she's a really nice girl. Or wow, she's very sweet. Wow, she's a pleasure to be around. Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to keep a man. Not big tits, not big lips, not a big ass, not being thick in all the right places. It's being sweet in the right places, kind in the right places, loving in the right places. And maybe, just maybe, Flat Bottom Becky will stop winning and you'll stop losing. But I can see the trolls now telling me, go ahead, go get you a white woman. Hey, I tried, right? I try to make my commentary deep and thoughtful, but whatever, man.